Before you even start cleaning out the home, meeting with agents, or talking to relatives about what the next steps will be, ask yourself, what's important about selling this house to you? This single question can completely change how you handle the next steps moving forward. Hi, I'm Ashlie Rivera.
And I'm Kim Ward. If you're an executor, administrator, or trustees, we help with homes here in San Diego. We've been doing that for 20 years plus, and we can help you too.
Attorneys, court timelines, preparing a home, these are all steps that you're going to be taking to get through this process, which is why we always ask our clients, what's important to you about selling this home? Your answer completely shapes the next steps moving forward because it determines how you want to handle the personal property, how much involvement you want from professionals, what steps you're going to be taking to inform beneficiaries, and how much stress you're going to carry through the process.
Estate sales, they're not quite like regular sales. You're not just making decisions for yourself, you're making decisions for the estate and for multiple beneficiaries. The more you push for that very top price, the more time, energy, and stress you'll face. There's no right or wrong, but being intentional upfront, it prevents conflicts later.
Let's talk about an example real quick. One of our clients, let's call her Mary, she had a brother who passed away here in San Diego. Mary lived out of state, and when she came to visit the home, she noticed that there was a lot of repairs and many updates that needed to take place. After speaking with her attorney and consulting with us, Mary decided that she wanted a clean exit. She chose to market the property slightly below market value, to aim more for investors than for traditional buyers, and to attempt to close quickly with minimal stress to herself. The result was that she had a fair outcome. The estate received funds from the investor after close of escrow, and she was able to move forward relatively quickly through the process instead of waiting around for someone to purchase the property at a higher market value.
If you're working with co-successor trustees or even multiple beneficiaries, have the hard conversation early. That's our recommendation. Do you need every possible dollar, to settle debts or to distribute the funds? Maybe you do. Maybe every penny isn't as important. Is it better to have a faster, easier close? Is that more important? Answering these type of questions, it can save some arguments later.
Right, so let's kind of talk about some of the framework of this process. A lot of our clients need to be walked through how they can manage the effort, stress, and the return for the estate. What do I mean by that? Well, by effort, I mean how much effort are they going to put into preparing the property or hiring individuals to put in, which then affects the return because they may not get as much money as they thought. It might cost a little bit more to hire professionals to do so. So they might have to put in a lot of effort if they don't want to have to pay someone. And then in terms of stress, obviously the process of going through all of the personal belongings can be a stressful one, especially if you're not satisfied or you're not ready to go through your loved one's belongings, or if you start finding a lot of items that are memorabilia for the family, mementos, things that you love. So let's talk about 4 possible scenarios. Step 1 is like Mary's, the clean exit. You put the property on the market as is, you sell to an investor for a lesser value than what you would with a traditional sale. You try and have quick timelines, and the property is sold relatively stress-free for the estate and yourself because you're not having to do any preparation at all. Scenario number 2 is kind of the smart middle. So in this particular scenario, you may choose to declutter, have the property cleaned, maybe do some light painting if necessary, and then go through the process of putting the property on the market. In this scenario, you'll have a price close to market value. You'll likely have some traditional buyers in the mix, and you may not be able to go FHA or VA depending on what the condition of the home is, but you'll probably have some conventional offers that come in. With the smart middle, you might have a little bit of stress, but it shouldn't be overwhelming. Option 3 is maximum effort. This would mean that you go through and you clear everything out of the property. You bring in professionals to replace items that need replaced. You go through repairs, painting, possibly upgrades if necessary for the kitchen, the bathrooms. It's a lot more work for you because you're going to have to go through the process of planning to have all of these repairs and upgrades done. The benefit of this is, though it takes time and money to do these upgrades, you may have the opportunity to have higher priced offers come in. You're likely going to have qualifications for FHA and VA loans as well as conventional, and you're likely not going to have many low-priced cash offers. The final scenario is high hopes, low effort. So in this particular scenario, maybe you don't do very much to the property to prepare it for sale, but you still put it on the market at a higher price. One of the challenges we've seen with this, especially as of late, is that because of situations with interest rates and the market, a lot of these properties sit, and they sit for a long time. You may potentially put yourself at risk of having the property sit for so long you have to drop the price, and in the end, the offers that you receive are significantly lower than what you might have received in scenario 1, which is a low effort, low price scenario. Option 4 can typically lead to frustrations with family. You might have challenges getting through the whole process. People are going to start feeling a lot of tension, and eventually, once you do close escrow, if you likely close escrow at a lower price, you're going to have family who are frustrated and upset with how the situation was handled.
Let's talk about Sam, and he is a trustee that we help. His parents' home was dated but appeared structurally sound. The beneficiaries, they were on poor Sam about that they wanted to get the highest price possible. So Sam chose to honor the beneficiaries, and he chose the maximum effort path. We coordinated painting, new flooring, landscaping, and then we soft staged the property, got professional photos, and put it on the market. Yes, it was stressful for Sam, but we did help coordinate a lot of the details of it. And it did require a large upfront investment, but the home sold above list price and had multiple offers. Because we helped Sam to document the plan and show it in its best interest for the estate, everyone agreed that the funds that they had to put into the property, well, it was worth it.
If you choose to go down the path of doing renovations, it's important to remember that maintenance is sometimes the biggest piece and the most important piece with the process. Small issues can send big messages to buyers. Oftentimes, maintenance issues can be very simple fixes. So it could be a sticky door, or it could be a knob that isn't working quite right. We had a property recently that they changed out the air filter on the furnace but left the old filter in the garage just sitting against a wall. It's as simple as picking up the filter and putting it in the trash because the filter has been replaced, and we don't want everybody to know that this old filter sat in there for who knows how long, right? Know that if repairs aren't possible, that's okay. You want to align your price with the condition of the property, and it's okay if you don't have funds to do repairs. Like we said before, there's multiple scenarios and options for how to go about handling the property.
That made me think about a property that we're helping with right now that was really dirty and full of personal property. And we helped our seller, who doesn't live in the San Diego area. We got our clean out guy and his team in there, cleared out the property, cleaned it a little bit, but it was still quite dirty. But selling as is, and it did show a lot better. It is showing a lot better now that all the personal property has been removed and a little bit of the dirt has been cleared up.
Yeah. So with that story, it's important to know that if you have experienced real estate professionals helping you, we can guide you through the process of making decisions about what can be done within the bounds of what you have for financial means. For example, you might want to have a yard cleaned up. First impressions, you drive past a property, it's got an overgrown lawn, doesn't take a lot of effort to have a lawn mowed and possibly pay someone to keep that maintenance up so that the first impression of the property is decent. Changing out light bulbs is a huge one. We oftentimes, when we go to soft stage properties, we bring an entire box of light bulbs with us that we have collected over the years. We oftentimes will change out the light bulbs so that they're all the same color tone, so they're all in the same lumen. We don't have white mixed with yellows. That doesn't make any sense. You don't want warm and white light together. They're not going to mesh or look nice. And they also become very obvious when there's multiple bulbs of different hues together. We want all the bulbs lit. We don't want to have dead bulbs. That shows a property that hasn't had a lot of maintenance, right? These are simple fixes, and they don't cost a lot of money, you know. Making sure that a countertop is wiped down so that when people come in, it doesn't look dirty, that's an easy fix. You have someone come in, do some cleaning, get rid of the cobwebs. Again, this really depends on how much money there is to go towards things, but these are fixes that are inexpensive, and if there is a little bit of funds, can really make a huge difference to that first impression for the buyers.
Let's talk about the high hopes, low effort zone scenario. We once met with an executor and his siblings, they insisted on top dollar. They were on him. And they also didn't want to spend any of the funds that were in the bank account to make the property more appealing to a traditional buyer. The carpet was stained, the yard was overgrown, the house had kind of a musty smell because it had been vacant for a few months. And you know what happened? The buyers came in, because we did our best to present it in its best light. The buyers came in and they left. Oh, and I forgot to mention that the carpet, the decedent had cats, and for whatever reason, one of the cats had been left inside the property, and you can imagine the smell from the cat. But they wanted to put it on the market like that, so we did what we could. We brought in some people to clean and did our best to soft stage, but it did not go well, as you can imagine. Buyers walked away, and their feedback was it was overpriced, it smelled, and was not a good property. Shortly thereafter, we pulled it off the market. We came back to what our cost-effective repairs that we recommended. The family did agree to the cost-effective repairs. We put new flooring in. We did a little bit of painting, fixed a couple of holes here and there, and the property sold just under the list price, and the family was happy. So that's a scenario where we went from high hopes, low effort, and because of the results, we shifted to the smart middle, and the property sold.
Whatever you choose, our role is to lighten your load. We help you choose whether or not to hire vendors, which vendors to hire, and what zones you might want to focus on. You might want to have the property cleaned, you might want to have the property emptied, you may want to have renovations done, or you might choose to have nothing done. Whatever you choose, whether it be a clean exit, anywhere to the maximum effort, we're here to help.
And remember, you don't have to do this alone. We're here to help. If your property is here in San Diego County, we can directly help you. If the property is outside of this area, we have a network of great real estate professionals that can help you to prepare, market, and successfully sell your loved one's home. And you might be interested, we put links below. We have books that we wrote, and they're on Amazon. And we hope you found this of value. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you have any questions, we'll be happy to answer them.